This is Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing. You are watching Sporting Icons. You don't need to be anywhere else.
There's an article here and I shall put it in the description box as always. So Frank Warren has been speaking about a potential Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury fight, and he believes that it should be a 50-50 fight where both Sky Sports and BT Sport will show the event live. And we'll get into Frank Warren's statement and then we'll have like a little chat about it. Of course, drop your thoughts below. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. So Frank Warren's statement. In the UK, you could go Cardiff. They have a roof on the stadium. That should be summer outdoors at a football stadium and would sell out 10 times over. It would grip the country. One of those events that transcends the back pages. Everyone would be talking about it. It will be pay-per-view event because the fighters will want to maximise their income. You can understand that. It's very easy to make this fight if it's 50-50. When I say 50-50, let Sky and BT Sport box office both have it. Take all obstacles away like they do in the States. The fans want the fight. If both TV channels are showing it, that means the boxers' incomes are going to be more. It's a no-brainer. So that is Frank Warren's statement. As I said, article in the description. Listen, straight away, so Sky Sports and BT Sport showing it. I don't think anybody would have any kind of issue with that one, as in I'm talking about the fans. The ones that may have an issue with it might be Sky Sports, because if you were to look at it realistically, Sky Sports has been well established for a great number of years, whereas BT Sport, as far as boxing goes, is a newbie. Okay, so it's almost like this huge platform is saying, okay, fine, we'll give a platform that is tiny in comparison to us when it comes to boxing, a 50-50. Maybe Sky Sports wouldn't be too happy, but at the same time, Sky Sports have, over the last, year or so, have given props to BT Sport. They have been advertising the fact that Wilder vs Fury was happening. They have been talking about Tyson Fury. They've been building up Tyson Fury. BT Sport, they don't build up Anthony Joshua. So it's all one way, if you like. So would Sky Sports do it? I could understand if they didn't, but I could certainly see them potentially doing it, at least anyway. So when Frank Warren says that it's 50-50, if he's talking about 50-50, because again, how he's saying it isn't quite transparent. He's saying 50-50, so what, Sky Sports and BT Sport have it? Or is he additionally saying 50-50 between Joshua and Tyson Fury? Again, as fans, do we really care? No. And would we love to see the fight? Of course. It's probably the biggest fight in boxing. But to be fair, if he's talking about a 50-50% split between those two fighters, again, you have to be realistic. When Tyson Fury fought Deontay Wilder was guaranteed a flat fee of $4 million, and Tyson Fury guaranteed a flat fee of $3 million. And Tyson Fury had to travel to America. So if you're not taking 50-50 from Wilder, who has one belt and zero name recognition, where Tyson Fury had to travel and Tyson Fury had to sell the event, which he did, that event, however well it done, UK and US, is all down to Tyson Fury for the most part, right? With Anthony Joshua, it's totally different. So if you're not getting 50-50 with Wilder, why do you think you should get 50-50 with Joshua, who's got 3 of the main 4 belts, plus the IBO, and for the fact that the Ring Magazine title would be on the line, number 1 versus number 2, according to the Ring Magazine ratings, Joshua number 1, Tyson Fury number 2. So what makes you think that Tyson Fury should get 50-50 against Joshua when he never got it against Deontay Wilder? That doesn't make sense to me. Wilder, 1 belt, zero financial input, okay, because he's not a pay-per-view star. He's not anything, okay? Versus Joshua, a 3-belt unified champion who is a cash cow. So if Frank Warren's saying 50-50 split, then I don't understand why Frank Warren would say that. If you're not taking 50-50 from Wilder, what makes you think you should get 50-50 with Joshua? Granted, there is the argument that, well, in the UK, Tyson is a massive name. And he is. He is a massive name. Whether you like him or whether you don't like him, he is a huge name. You know Tyson Fury. You don't even have to be into boxing too much to know the name Tyson Fury. Okay, so yes, he is bringing star power to the event, something that Wilder wouldn't do with a Joshua fight. So I kind of get that point, but it's still not 50-50, is it? And I know Frank Warren previously said that Tyson Fury is now more commercially valuable than what Anthony Joshua is. Again, that's not true, is it? It is not true. One fight where you get a draw, and it's officially a draw. Yes, I believe, and probably 99% of the boxing world believe Tyson Fury beat Deontay Wilder, but the records show it's a draw. Tyson Fury is not bringing a belt to the equation. You could talk about lineal. We could talk about lineal until we're blue in the death, blue in the face. Okay, where there's arguments for him being lineal as legitimate, and there's arguments against it as well. So again, it's a talking point, but he's not bringing a physical title to it. He really isn't. This is a champion versus a former champion, and that's the reality of it. It really is. So if Frank Warren's saying 50-50, then that's pricing yourself out. Unless it's a tactic of start high and eventually get what you want, which is maybe 40%. So I suppose from their point of view, 60-40 in Joshua's favour is a fair split. It really is. But is Tyson Fury any more valuable than Dillian Whyte? It's difficult to say, isn't it? Difficult to say. Because Tyson Fury's been out for a long, long time. He's been out for a hell of a long time. But Dillian Whyte is number one in the WBC, number one in the WBO, and has been through some highly watched fights in 2018. And he carries knockout power as well, which fans love knockout power. People love Tyson Fury, of course they do, but he doesn't carry knockout power. He doesn't bring that excitement of knockout power. Now, as far as Joshua and Tyson Fury go, I've always said it, an informed Tyson Fury could well and truly outbox Anthony Joshua and take it on points by majority decision. He could do that. But likewise, if Joshua lands on him, it's good night, sweetheart. It really is, because Joshua can hit with both hands. Wilder, he's known for his right hand. Joshua is known for both of his hands, where he hurts you both of them. And his body shot. Listen, when it comes down to the fight, we'll break it down a little bit more, but I think most people can agree Joshua by knockout or Tyson Fury on points. But to say 50-50, no, it shouldn't be 50-50 at all. But listen, if Joshua really wants to fight, then why not 50-50? You know, and again, it's very well for us to talk about what other people are getting when we're not getting anything out of it ourselves. Listen, yes, you could say, well, Anthony Joshua, he's got plenty of money in the bank. Why does he care? But fact is, you see, for quite a few occasions, when he won the IBF title against Charles Martin, he gave up A-side privileges in favour of Charles Martin to make that fight. He gave up privileges to Vladimir Klitschko to make that fight for the WBA. He gave a hell of a chunk to Joseph Parker to make that fight. So he's kind of getting to the point now where he's going to be thinking, I've done all this hard work, why am I keep having to concede all the time? Shouldn't I now be in the position where I'm calling the shots? Shouldn't it be a case of now that anybody who wants to fight me should pretty much take whatever it is that I offer you? It's a kind of a selfish, arrogant point of view, I suppose, but ultimately I wouldn't blame him if that was his stance. I keep on conceding all the time. When am I going to start calling the shots? Why do I have to give up all this amount? Yes, I've got money in the bank, but it's more principle and it's business, isn't it? So there is that one, and it goes hand in hand with the whole Wilder situation as well. It seems that every fighter nowadays sees Anthony Joshua as a way of demanding huge money that they wouldn't demand from anybody else. That's just how it is. And that's kind of, in some ways, Eddie Hearn's fault, because he keeps talking about how much of a star power and how much money Anthony Joshua generates. So in some way, that's Eddie Hearn's own fault. But ultimately, listen, Joshua does bring a lot of eyes and ears and money to the table. Tyson Fury brings star quality. Wilder doesn't. But Wilder does bring a belt. So if Tyson Fury, and I'll go back to the original question, if you're not getting 50-50 against Wilder, then why would you think you should get 50-50 against Joshua? It doesn't make any kind of logical sense whatsoever. In addition to the fact you had to travel to Wilder's own backyard in America, whereas here against Joshua, you don't. It's on your doorstep. Now, I think Tyson Fury's a reasonable guy. I don't think he'll price himself out of it. I think Tyson Fury will be more than happy to fight Anthony Joshua, and he'll go in there more motivated and more dangerous than he's ever been in his entire career. I think that this is the fight where you see the best of Tyson Fury, in all honesty, and he'll be a much, much better fighter than what he was on December the 1st against Deontay Wilder, much like he would be in a rematch against Wilder. So Tyson Fury has a lot of privileges right now. He can fight anybody and make decent money. But he couldn't go fight the kind of ones that Joshua's for, like a Brazil, and sell out. He couldn't fight a Alexander Povetkin and sell out. They'd do well, but they wouldn't hit the numbers that Joshua did. And I think that's fair to say. Personally, I think a fight between Tyson Fury and Dillian Whyte, that could potentially sell out a Principality Stadium. It could. It generally could. Because Dillian also brings star power. So financially, I mean, I know that Tyson isn't too hot on financial sides of things, but at the same time, I mean, if you're demanding 50-50, then you kind of are. But I think in reality, he's just saying this kind of thing. But I think that if he was to fight Joshua, I think he would lower his expectations just to make the fight, because he knows even taking 40% is good money. Very good money. And it's the biggest fight in boxing. And if he defeats Joshua, he does what he said that he will always do, which is get back what is rightfully his. Every single belt that Joshua currently owns right now, Tyson Fury once had. Both of these guys beat Vladimir Klitschko in different ways, but they still defeated the man. So it doesn't matter what happens with Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua, whoever it is that they fight, there's always going to be that question. These two need to fight to settle it once and for all. Because Joshua could go fight Wilder next, get the WBC title, be called undisputed, but there'll still be a large faction of people saying, but you haven't beaten Tyson Fury. All your belts, Tyson Fury owned. You may well be called undisputed, but Tyson Fury is the lineal, if you put any kind of mention into lineal, if you put any kind of value to it. But there will be people who do that. So Tyson Fury needs to happen. For me, if Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury happens, that is effectively for undisputed. Because not only will the Ring magazine be on the line, which it won't be on the line if Wilder fought either one of them. So the Ring magazine will be there, the lineal will be there if you put stock into it, and the fact that all Joshua's belts will be there, and the fact that we know Tyson Fury should be the WBC heavyweight champion of the world. So effectively, it is undisputed from that point of view. But anyway, that's Frank Warren. Is it a case of he just pricing himself out? Is it going to be Frank Warren that is going to be the one who really wants to make the fight? Or is it a case of he's doing this to dig his heels in, to do what a lot of people suspect that he would have done a long time ago, as and when the Joshua Fury fight was to happen or talked about, where he would outprice it, trying to act like everything is an even playing field when it's not even playing field in reality of it. But it's a fight that when these guys walk into the stadium, I mean, he's talking about Principality. Why Principality when that's 80,000 when you can do Wembley for 90 to 100,000? Why would you do that? You're better off going to Wembley, aren't you? So it will be a very, very split crowd in some ways. Some will be very anti-Joshua. Some will be very anti-Fury. For the first time in both their careers, they're going to have a section of fans not only cheering them, but booing them. It's going to be an interesting one, that's for sure. And hopefully Frank Warren isn't playing bigwig and he is going to be reasonable in the negotiations, hopefully. Because as we know, Wilder, he wants no smoke with Anthony Joshua. He's frightened to death. It doesn't matter how much money you offer him. It doesn't matter what. He's already said, I don't care what it is that Joshua offers me. I'm not taking it. So, undisputed, I promise my fans, I love my fans. He's just not interested, is he? He's just not. So, anyway, I do believe Joshua wants Fury. Fury is Joshua's backup plan. It's a bit horrible to say, I know, but Wilder is Joshua's #1 priority because he wants to be undisputed. If he can't get Wilder, which it looks like he ain't, as I said, Wilder has consistently ducked him for the last several months and somehow managed to get into the brain of the weak-minded that he was the one who actually wanted to fight, which is absolutely outrageous. Outrageous. So, if they can't get Wilder, Tyson Fury next. If Tyson Fury is not going to entertain it, then Dillian Whyte will be next. So, a lot of people say, well, we always knew that Whyte versus Joshua, the rematch, was going to happen next. It was always set up. So, what's Joshua supposed to do? Okay? Whyte is third choice. I don't particularly like him being third choice, but that's how Joshua sees it. So, if he can't get Wilder and he can't get Tyson Fury, what do you want him to do? Not fight? That's just ridiculous, isn't it? And who better out there? Who is more deserving than Dillian Whyte of a world heavyweight title shot? Who? Miller? No. Kaunaki? No. Luis Ortiz? Hell no. Nobody's more deserving than Dillian Whyte. For me, ideal situation, Wilder versus Joshua, Dillian Whyte versus Tyson Fury. Both of these could be massive events in the UK. Both of them could be Wembley, or a Principality Stadium, or an Old Trafford, or a St James's Park. Yes, please, St James's Park here in Newcastle, that'd be awesome. But either way, they're both behemoth fights. As I said, the heavyweight division needs the British fighters to bring the eyes, the ears, and the money. Like it or not, that's how it is. Wilder against Brazil will not be pay-per-view. It will be a commercial flop. Wilder in a rematch against Luis Ortiz, again, will be a commercial flop. You need a British fighter. You need a Joshua. You need a Fury. You need a Dillian Whyte. That is how it is. That is how it is. Anyway, you drop your thoughts about it. Obviously, article in the description box as always. Go give it a read. Come to your own conclusions. Maybe I've misread it, or it's potential. Potentially I have. But for me, I think that if Frank Warren... If this is going to be a deal breaker, Sky Sports and BT Sport, it shouldn't be a deal breaker. But anyway, we've got to get to that point where these guys actually start negotiating. And for that to happen, Joshua is just going to have to officially walk away from Wilder now and say, listen, you've had enough time. You're just not responding to us. Move on. And then they'll come into Tyson Fury. If Tyson Fury's not playing ball and Frank Warren's not playing ball, then, listen, it's going to be Dillian Whyte. It's as simple as that, and I'm happy with that fight. I love that fight. Anyway, drop your thoughts below, click thumbs up, and of course subscribe. Catch you all on the next video.